Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. In the quiet dialogue between light and intelligence, the beauty of art is born. And when intelligence illumines light and light embraces dance, aesthetics finds its voice. Namaskara and a very good evening to all of you. ಈ ಸುಂದರ ಸಂಜೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. I'm Dr. Ragini Sanath, and on behalf of my dear friend Dr. Rashmi Thaper, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this elegant evening, a confluence of dance, aesthetics, and intellect. The book release of When Light Dances, Lighting the Aesthetic World of Indian Classical Dance, authored by Dr. Rashmi Thaper. A warm welcome to our online audience, students, families, and friends of Dr. Rashmi Thaper from Punjab and Australia. This event is not merely a book launch. It is a celebration of Rashmi's involvement with the art form and her creativity that bridges performance and perception, tradition and innovation. Again, a warm welcome to all the artists, our special guests of the evening, scholars, family members, and art rasikas. It's now my honor to invite our esteemed dignitaries to the stage. May I request Dr. Rashmi Thaper to please bring Dr. Sandeep Shastri, Vice President, NRITYA Trust, Vidushi Sneha Kapana ma'am, Director, Brahmari Dance Repertoire, Dr. Shobha Shashikumar ma'am, renowned Bharatnatyam dancer and researcher, to the stage. It's a pleasure and honor that Shri Srinivas Ji Kapana, a specialist in Indian theatrical productions, Sangeet Natak Academy awardee for Allied Theatre Arts, Lighting and Stage Design, who has designed lighting for many dancers of the country and has worked in a number of television genre, is here with us today. Request you to kindly come up on stage, sir. Thank you. As we gather this evening to celebrate art, aesthetics, and illumination, it is only fitting that we begin with a symbol that embodies all the three, the lighting of the ceremonial lamp. And today, as we launch When Light Dances, this act holds a deeper meaning, for the book itself celebrates light as an artistic partner in the dance of creation. I now invite our esteemed dignitaries to kindly come forward to light the lamp and mark the auspicious beginning of this evening. Dr. Rashmi Thaper. Deepajyoti Parabrahma, Deepajyotir Janardanaha, Deepo Haratume Papam Sandhya Deepa Namostute. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you to all our guests. With the sacred lamp lit and spirit of art shining bright, we now open this evening of celebration and creativity. May I request our chief guests to kindly take seats on the stage, please. शारदे शुभ्रहारे अक्षयद सुखवनीडु शारदे शुभ्रहारे विश्वान्तरात्मे विज्ञानतत्त्वे वेदान्तवेद्ये वेद जननी जगन्माते योगी भूते ओंकार स्वरूपे शारदे. A beautiful tradition that Rashmi is taking it forward on the stage. I would now like to take a moment to introduce to you the author of the evening, Dr. Rashmi Thaper, and her remarkable work, When Light Dances, Lighting the Aesthetic World of Indian Classical Dance. Dr. Rashmi Thaper has been a devoted student of Bharatanatyam for over 35 years. She holds an MFA, MPhil, and PhD in dance, along with masters in engineering. After serving as a senior software engineer at GE Healthcare for 7 years, she chose to dedicate herself fully into the world of art. As the artistic director of NRITYA SINCHANA, with branches in India and Auckland, she has trained and inspired numerous students. A recipient of several awards and scholarships, Dr. Rashmi has performed at national and international dance festivals. Her scholarly engagement includes research publications in reputed journals, and she currently contributes to the art column of Indian News, Auckland, bringing together her passion for performance, research, and aesthetics. When Light Dances is more than a book. It is a luminous dialogue between dance and design, between emotion and illumination. This will be the first of its kind to explore the art of stage lighting in the context of Indian classical dance. And evolving from Dr. Rashmi Thaper's studies in her MPhil and PhD research, the book distills years of academic study and practical experience into a comprehensive guide for understanding and applying light aesthetically into classical performances. While detailed production analysis are reserved in the author's thesis due to copyright constraints, this book stands out as a culmination of her fieldwork, apprenticeship under renowned light designers, and deep engagement with performing arts. Dr. Rashmi, can you please come on the stage? And now, the moment we have all been waiting for, the formal release of the book, When Light Dances, Lighting the Aesthetic World of Indian Classical Dance. May I now request our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Sandeep Shastri sir, along with Dr. Rashmi Thaper and other dignitaries on stage, to kindly come forward for the release of this book. request Dr. Sandeep Shastri sir to kindly hand over the first copy of the book to Sri Srinivas Ji Kapanna sir. Thank you, Kapanna sir, for gracing this occasion and sharing this special moment with us. We request you to kindly take your seat with the audience. Shri Kapanna sir would like to speak some words, few words on this occasion.
ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಇರಲಿ, ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ರಶ್ಮಿ, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ, ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದ ವೆರಿ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕೇರಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಲೈಟ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್. I have been with the dancers and the dimmers for many, many years. ನಾನು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ದ ಕ್ರೂಡೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಎಕ್ವಿಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅದು. ಡಿಮ್ಮರ್ ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಯಾವ ಗ್ಯಾಡ್ಜೆಟ್ಸು ಆಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ ದ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ಸ್, ನೋ ಒನ್ ಸೆಡ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಆ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರು, ಇದು ಕಲರು, ಶೇಡು ಆ ಥರ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನು ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಮುಖ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ನಾನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ರೇಗಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ಜಗಳ ಆಡಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಇದ್ದು ಕಣ್ಣು ಓಕೆ ಅಂತ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್, ಕಪಡ ನನ್ನ ಮುಖ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ನನ್ನ ಹಿಂದೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಲೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಥವಾ ಎಸ್ಥೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ದಟ್ Rashmi has done a wonderful thing. She's emphasizing the importance of lighting in dance form. And it's very important ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಒಂದು ಪದ್ಯ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಕವಿತೆ ನೀವು ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅದು ಹಾಡಿನ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆ ಕವಿತೆ ಓದೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಅನುಭವ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವ್ರು ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹಾಡು ಹೇಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, ರಿದಮ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, ಹಾಗೆ ಲೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಕೂಡ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಬಹಳ ತಡವಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ. ಮೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ಫೆಲ್ಟ್ ಕಂಗ್ರ್ಯಾಚುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಟು Rashmi. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you very much.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಕಪ್ಪಣ್ಣ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅನುಭವದ ಮಾತುಗಳಿಗೆ. We are privileged to have with us distinguished personalities as our chief guests today, who will address the gathering. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce the esteemed chief guest of the evening, Dr. Sandeep Shastri. Dr. Sandeep Shastri, sir, is Vice President of the Bangalore campus at the NITYA Education Trust. He was the earlier Director, Academics at the NITYA Education Trust, Vice Chancellor at Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal, and Pro-Vice Chancellor of Jain University at Bangalore. Also a faculty in the Department of Political Science at Bangalore University. He has authored 14 books, 60 chapters in edited books, and over 100 articles in reputed journals, beside over 500 articles in leading newspapers and online portals. He is the National Coordinator of the Lokniti Network, an all-India network of political scientists involved in election studies. He was the chairperson of the drafting committee of the Karnataka Youth Policy. He has been a consultant to the United Nations, World Bank, and Forum of Federations. He has spoken at universities in over 50 countries in all the 6 inhabited continents. He describes himself as a teacher by instinct, researcher by choice, trainer by passion, and above all, a lifelong learner. A warm round of applause, please. May I now invite Dr. Sandeep Shastri, sir, to kindly address the gathering. Thank you, sir.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Let me say what a special honor it is to be here today. Nothing fills the heart of a teacher more than to be present when their students achieve newer and newer milestones in their life. I have been in the teaching learning world for the last 43 years. And in these 43 years, more than 35,000 students have allowed me to learn with them in their classroom. I don't think I have taught anybody, but they have allowed me to learn with them. And you have been exposed to two of them just now. I was lucky to have Dr. Rashmi in my class. I was also lucky to have Dr. Sharanya in my class. It's sometimes difficult to refer to them as Dr. Rashmi and Dr. Sharanya because I have known them in the class without that prefix, and sometimes I apologize, by mistake that prefix is forgotten. Friends, during my time as a teacher, and during especially my time at Jain University, some of the happiest and most fulfilling moments have been with the doctoral students. And every batch had doctoral students from music and dance. And as both Sharanya and Rashmi and many of the others sitting here are examples, they didn't begin their professional journey with dance and music. They went elsewhere and then suddenly discovered their calling, which was music. And therefore, their passion for music and dance was so intense that every year in the class, most prizes used to be won by those in the music and dance group. All other students used to say, we want the music and dance people with us because then we can be assured of getting a prize. Now, what Dr. Rashmi has written, when light dances, and subtitles it as lighting the aesthetic world of Indian classical dance. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Shobha ma'am, I've always felt dance and music take you to the hem of heaven. You feel that you are so close, very close, and nearly crossing the line which makes you feel that you are in a heavenly presence. And this is not just about dance and music. This is also about, I think, the dancer and the musician who make that possible. And that is an important tribute I would pay to Dr. Rashmi. And this book, in a sense, and I've had a chance to read through the book, because Rashmi knows I would not have agreed to speak if I did not have a chance to go through it beforehand. I've read every page of what she has written. And as I read it, I recalled the time that I spent with all these PhD students. And Rashmi, I would say one thing. When light dances, for me, that light is not so much the light you refer to here, but the light that radiates the faces and the eyes of every dancer and the voice of every musician. Why do I say this? I was looking at a passage from the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna gives a piece of advice to Arjuna, where he says, the outer lighting may illuminate the world around you, but the inner light is what really ultimately radiates and gives a meaning to that outside light that you have. So when dancers like Rashmi and Rashmi's students take to the stage, when dancers like Shobha ma'am, and given the fact that I've been associated with both of them, I'm saying this, when both of them take to the stage and take to their dance, the light is just following them around. And it is they who are the centerpiece. It is their inner illumination which manifests itself in the outer world. In the last paragraph of the book, Rashmi talks about how artificial intelligence is taking over things today and raises the question in the book, will lighting and light effects also be taken over by artificial intelligence at some time? Maybe. But that human intelligence and not artificial intelligence will ultimately show that inner light. And if I could be a little mischievous in what I say, intelligence may always be artificial. And stupidity often is natural. But let's remember that human excellence, as seen in the way people do what they are good at doing, will be the ultimate light for any action to happen. So with this, I once again compliment Rashmi for this book. And I think this book is just one phase, one part of what Rashmi in important ways represents. And compliments to you on this book. And I believe there is a lot more that we will see from you. And there is a lot more that the world expects from you. And when I see that shine, energy, enthusiasm, excitement, not in your eyes, in your daughter's eyes. When she came up to give me that bouquet, I knew that it's now being carried on by future generations. And maybe that light will shine brighter than this light someday. And that is my hope and wish and prayer. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shastri, sir. One, by bringing out our academic journey so beautifully, you've really added immense depth and warmth to this evening. Thank you so much. As a mark of respect and gratitude, Dr. Rashmi Thaper would like to offer a token of appreciation to Dr. Sandeep Shastri, sir, for gracing this occasion with his inspiring presence. Vidushi Sneha Kapanna ma'am is an acclaimed choreographer, Bharatanatyam practitioner, actor, storyteller, and researcher. She is the founder and director of Brahmari Dance Repertoire, a distinguished company which was established in 2002. With over 1,000 performances to her credit, she has enriched the cultural landscape for more than 2 decades. As executive director of Kapanna Angala, Bengaluru, she curates diverse artistic experiences. She has co-founded Katha Corner, a vibrant storytelling platform nurturing creative expression. Her extensive research on Karnataka's folk dances culminated in the bilingual publication NRITYA Beru. A senior disciple of Guru B. Bhanumati Madam, she continues to train students in the classical tradition. Her adaptation of D.V. Gundappa's Kaggas into Bharatanatyam is widely acclaimed. Sneha Kapanna ma'am has represented Karnataka at the International Seminar on Indian Dance, earning high praise from critics. Her recent recognition at the National Conference of Folk Dance and Music reaffirms her stature as a dynamic artist scholar. She has many awards and recognitions to her credit. May I now request Vidushi Sneha Kapana ma'am to address the gathering, please. A warm round of applause. Thank you.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಹೆದರಬೇಡಿ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಓದೋ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ತುಂಬ ಸಂಕ್ಷಿಪ್ತವಾಗಿ ಈ ಇಡೀ ಪುಸ್ತಕದ ಸಾರಾಂಶನ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ನನ್ನ ಬೆನ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ ಇವತ್ತು. ಸೊ ದ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಬುಕ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯೂ ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ರಿಷಿಯೇಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾನ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ದ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬುಕ್. So for me, when I was going through the entire book fell into 3 verticals for me. One was the path, the second was the practicality of it, and the third was the philosophy behind it. So it all became PL shuru aitashtane, but somehow it very cleanly fell into this and was summing up the whole arena of lighting that we look at. The first was the path, and hinde nodidira munde nadiyadakke sadhyane illa. So we went through this whole very beautifully. She takes us through a long journey that has been put very beautifully. It almost goes through as a story, like ಒಂದು ಕತೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ how it starts from the temple to our text, and from the text moving on to traditional theatre, amateur theatre, then stepping into classical dance. And in each of this part, what did the role of light play? All of us have read about Agamic tradition, Natyashastra, everything. All the time we, as dancers at least, we take references to it. But seeing it in a new light, visualizing the Rangha, Bhoga, Navaranga Mantapa of Halebeedu, Belur, Somnathpura, keeping light in your mind had not happened. Oh, they were performing here, sure. So where was the source of light? How were they using it? So all those immediately makes you think, from that time this tradition is going on, but how it has developed from then to here. In fact, the whole section of amateur theatre felt like home, because born into a theatre family, we have heard and grown up with stories about all this. Gobi Theatre, mentions of Gopinath Das, because we have literally lived through how they used to rig the lights at that time. You know, it was such a huge task. The lighting crew itself used to be bigger than the cast, because it was a very tough job. It was not something so easy. They need to carry so much equipment and things like that. So all this came into the whole path section of it. And the second was the practical aspect of it. This practical aspect of it, being a classical dancer, I also accept that many people around us, we are very unaware of most of the things. Light beku, like how my father just told, light beku gottu. Yava light enak beku, eshtu beku. We are not able to even tell our designers across and get the work extracted from them. So beautifully she has broken it down into 2 sections of understanding this practicality of light in design and scenery anta. Design anno section alli, how do we understand the theme, and the theme kelgadeli what are the light equipments, basic knowledge. So naviga par can andre, Fresnel andre, PC ellaru ಲೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಇದು ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇದು ಅಂತ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋಷ್ಟು ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜು ಕೂಡ ಡಾನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಮೇಕಪ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ಶಿಬಿರಗಳು ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಆರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಕೇಕ್, ಕಾಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್, ರೂಶ್, because we keep doing workshops in that, make sure our children are picking up all this language. But what about this technical vocabulary? If I were to ask, let me not speak about anybody else, my own students, par can, LED can, console alli hing madama, I don't think they'll be able to grasp even what we are trying to put across. So that way it is a very, very hand-me-down version where you can just give it to somebody and say, please go through this, and you'll get at least a basic set of ideas of what is what, the terminologies and the making of it. Like when the water dimmer use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ಇಟ್, ಅದನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ವಿತೌಟ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಟೂ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟೂ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿ ಲೂಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಇಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ರೀಚ್ ಆಗದಿರೋ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಶಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಪುಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಕ್ರಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲಿ ಅಂತ ನನಗನ್ನಿಸ್ತು. ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್, there are such simple things like division of the stage. As a theater artist, see, I can very easily shift hats. That is one privilege I have had. I have had theater directors who will sit and say, can you please restrain yourself to write downstage? And I understand that. But I can't use this vocabulary with dancers because the basic division of upstage, downstage, center stage is not taught to us as performers or dancers. So right from that, she is taking us through understanding the basics of light, which I really appreciated. And not just going directly into the aesthetics of it or creating the atmosphere of it. Division of stage is such a simple thing. And that too in theater, it is like our taya tai. That's the first thing we learn as theater artists. But how come as dancers we never get to learn that? These are things that got me thinking. And even other things like making a cue sheet. Just the other day, we had Rama Bharadwaj ma'am perform at Kappanangala. So she had an entire cue sheet so beautifully. I will tell this dialogue, then I need green light coming from this side. It was so easy to follow. But how many of us do it? Do we ever go around? We will make, what is that? How to introduce your performance. All the script is ready. We make sure we write our intro, company's intro, dance intro, take this script and make sure we are doing all this. But the light cues is something I don't see us doing it. So this is something, again, a professional, something up learning that we have to do, upskill that we need to pick up, carrying a light cue sheet. So that even if I go like just a few, let's say, hours and I can still give it to a capable light man, he'll be able to handle it and take the cues and, accordingly give us the best that can be given. So I really loved those aspects that has been put very well. Apart from that, even things like control panel, consoles, rigging, these are all theater vocabulary. But she has, to use the correct word, Einstein for dummies anta ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಅಂದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಸರಳವಾದ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಐನ್ಸ್ಟೈನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುವಂಥ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸರಳವಾದ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಈ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಐ ರಿಯಲಿ ಅಪ್ರಿಷಿಯೇಟ್. ತುಂಬ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಕನ್ಸೈಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೀನರಿ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್, ಮೂಡ್, ರಿದಮ್. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಕೋಟಾ ಆಫ್ ಸೈನ್ಸು ಆರ್ಟ್ದು ಒಂದು ಲೀಪ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ, ವೇರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಲಾಂಗರ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್. 10 ಲೈಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆ 10 ಲೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು. ದೆನ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ creating a mood, creating a visual, creating something that moves according to the rhythm of what is happening, right? So that has been beautifully explained. Adikkinta tumba chanda aspect andre the 3-4 aspects of light that she explains, things which we can control: intensity, color, movement and direction. Actually ella concepts tagondre 4ಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದು ಲೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Entire thing of lighting fall into these 4. If you learn to understand these 4 as an individual aspect, how do I control this intensity, using which equipment for which scene is all I'm trying to figure out. So it was very well addressed. Like I said, it is such a wonderful hand-me-down pamphlet, in which you can try to understand what light is doing. And of course, the next section, the choreographic aspects, she has broken it down so that even a layperson who has no idea what to do can at least take down these points and work with lights in the future, where how to work it for a solo production, duet, how to do it for group, how to do it for different kinds of auditorium. She has made it like a hand-me-down booklet, where you can actually look through and understand that. That again is ensuring that people take this forward, which is what a book should do. And it should not be dusted and, something kept in a library where nobody is touching it. By making it so practical, I just hope lots and lots of dancers, not only in Bangalore, across everywhere, reach out and are able to use such a beautifully broken down, simplistic way of understanding how to use lights. So these 2 were the first 2 verticals. If it had stopped at this, it would have been a very good book with all the things that you could probably ಗಿವ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಹೇಗಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇತ್ತು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಿಂತೋಗಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬೀನ್ ಎ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಬುಕ್. ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ರಿಯಲಿ impressed me ಅಂತಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಎ ಬಿಗ್ chunk of it should be Shobha ma'am's thing, because it talks about the Indian aesthetic sense, Indian aesthetic theories, how Indian aesthetic theories work, how there's a philosophy for lighting. That totally changes our dimension of understanding light. And ಬಹಳ ಜನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮೀ, ನಾನ್ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ರಸ ಥಿಯರಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ನನಗೊಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ, ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ಡಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ನನಗೊಬ್ಳಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅನ್ನೋ, ವಿ ಮೈ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಿಸ್ concept, but the concept of rasa goes to all phases of life. The concept of aesthetics can be applied to every fragment of life, on stage, off stage. Off stage, no need for discussion right now, but on stage anotherly, from the makeup, from the light, there is a philosophy behind it. Adanna, in all terms, whether it is all the different books are mentioned and how to control the excess. This concept, if only light designers can understand better, I feel. ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಈಗ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಡೇಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಚೀಫ್ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋದರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಬಡ್ಜೆಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು 50 ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಹೆಡ್ಸ್, ಒಂದು 50 ಪಾರ್, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಬೇಡ, ಬಡ್ಜೆಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಬಡ್ಜೆಟ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಹಾಗೆ ಮಗುನೇ ಕಾಣಿಸಲ್ಲ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೋ ಬ್ರೈಟ್. ಹಿಂದೆಗಡೆ LED ವಾಲ್ ಹಾಕೋ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹುಚ್ಚು. You make that LED wall so bright and have moving images and have 100 children in the front. Like, what are you trying to highlight? What is being important? ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಔಚಿತ್ಯ, ಇದರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಹಿಡಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಎಸ್ಥೆಟಿಕ್ ಥಿಯರೀಸಲ್ಲೇ ಬರೋದು. ಅದನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನನಗನ್ನಿಸ್ತು. I would like to conclude with a quote that she has used in the book. The stage lighting can never replace the satvika element of the actor, but it can only contribute as an external medium to strongly root in the mind of the spectator, in the mind of the spectator. So it is aharya. She discusses the 4 Chaturvida Abhinaya, and in that also she says the main content, the satvika, the angika, all that has to be at a certain level. For that to enhance it, we can use these, what? Costume, makeup, props, light. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟುಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಟುಸ್ಸೆ. And these are the beautiful things that really like struck a chord with me ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. With that, I would like to summarize. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ, in my summarizing things, what I would like to say is her acknowledgement of Nagraj sir, Ravi sir, Umesh sir, who don't come from an academic background, but are the true torchbearers, or whom I also, as a person who has been working with them, would like to acknowledge. So I appreciate that acknowledgement. Second, it's a definite manual, should be made a must and should, that everybody can have access to. With the exposure to things that we are having, me being working with both theatre and dance, we see everywhere women are taking, the forefront. But lighting is something that women are yet to somehow scared. They feel it's a man's word, or I don't know why. ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಈಗಲೂ ಟಕ್ ಅಂತ ಲೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸೈನರ್ ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿನ್ ದಿದಿ, ಹೂ ಡಸ್ ಲೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ನೃತ್ಯಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಲಿನ್ ಫರ್ನಾಂಡಿಸ್, ಹಾಗೆ ಮೀತಾ ಮಿಶ್ರಾ NSD ಇಂದ ಪಾಸ್ಔಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ. ಇವರಿಬ್ಬರು ಹೆಸರು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಹೆಸರುಗಳೇ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ with so much cultural things happening, innumerable dancers, innumerable productions happening. So it is also something that women really need to take it and take it forward. Another kuda I wanted to bring it out in this speech. I'd like to congratulate Rashmi for an excellent work. It was a much needed aspect that we were all neglecting as dancers. It was taken for granted. ಅನ್ನೋ ಥರ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಿ, ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಲೈಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಥರ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. But with the book, I feel you don't not only make us realize that it is a need, it's a definite need. It's not just an external decoration, it's a need. We need to figure out how to use it. But more than that, I think because of this whole philosophy that you bring about, you also bring it across very beautifully that it's a art. It is a huge art that we have to again invest ourselves to upskill ourselves, learn and work on it. So congratulations again on a wonderful job.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring and insightful review, which thoughtfully delineated all the dimensions highlighting Rashmi's book, practicality of the book, and bringing out the true rasa and the spirit of the book so gracefully. Thank you so much. ನಿಜವಾಗಿಯೂ ಒಂದು ಹೃದಯ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೃದಯದ ಆಳದಿಂದ ಬಂದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು. ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. Our next chief guest, Dr. Shobha Shashikumar, is an acclaimed Bharatanatyam danceuse, choreographer, researcher, teacher, and an author. She's been privileged to be trained under the renowned gurus Srimati Shanta Ram Mohan, Srimati Revati Narsimhan, and late Srimati Sundari Santanam. She was awarded the doctorate degree from the Bangalore University, and under the guidance of the renowned artist Dr. Vidwan D.V. Prasanna Kumar for Natuvangam and Laya, lessons on Natya Shastra and Alankara Shastra from Shatabdani Dr. R. Ganesh has groomed her research and practical abilities. Her research productions include Navarasa Krishna, poems of Kalidasa, Kumara Vyasa Bharata, Sri Rama Parikshanam, Sri Krishna Parikshanam, Duti Karma Prakasha, Stri Shakti, and many more. Many of her research works have been documented by the Gokhale Institute of Public Affairs, and she has successfully completed a performance-based documentation of the Antapura Gite of Dr. D.V. Gundrappa across 12 episodes with live orchestra. She has been the recipient of the Junior and Senior Research Fellowship from the University Grants Commission and has presented lecture demonstrations and research papers at national and international seminars. She is currently serving as a guest faculty at the Department of Performing Arts, Jain University, and as a guide for the PhD programs at the university. Under her able guidance, 4 candidates have been awarded with their doctoral degrees. She is one of the founders of Natyayana Trust and regularly conducts workshops, runs her dance institution Mayuri Nritya Shala at Bangalore, where students are taught practical lessons backed by the right understanding of historical, literary and artistic values. She was conferred the prestigious Anuraga Prashasti, Artist Reality Award by Divakars, Scholarly Researcher Award, Abhinaya Chudamani, among many other state and national awards. She is one of the most sought after resource persons in dance. A Journey of Dance from Bhava to Natyayana, her first book, was published in 2020, which is a journey of dance from Bhava to Rasa containing insightful writings. May I now request Dr. Shobha Shashikumar ma'am to continue this dialogue between art and intellect. Thank you.
ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಸಭೆಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. I am both nervous and excited to be sharing dais with such wonderful dignitaries. Sandeep Shastri sir, I am really honored to be sharing the dais with you today. He's been an inspiration. People who have associated with research in Jain know what he is. Not just as a researcher, as he himself described that it's an instinct to teach, and his passion, by choice it is research, and his passion, sir, he describes him. I don't know about his classes, but I know about his classes through my research students who never fail to mention the impact he has created to understand methodology and their own subjects. Sir is not a dancer or a musician or an performing artist, but his sense for research and insight is such that he is able to connect any researcher to the sadharanikaran anta aesthetics alli ಒಂದು ಪದ ಬಳಸ್ತೀವಿ, the common ground where research becomes common sense. This is a big asset. And I think my research students were all privileged to have attended his classes, and my job became easier because they were able to connect research methodology with ease to their own subjects of choice. So I'm truly honored, sir. And even as my superior who guided us to guide our students, it was wonderful to work with you, sir. There was a beautiful space where he gave dignity to the guides to function with their wisdom, conviction, and their confidence. But at the same time, he could help us align with something called management, which we would otherwise not comprehend. So he was a beautiful bridge between the system and our own selves. So I should say, as a guide at Jain, I have had the privilege and honor and have been fortunate to have an intense experience with my role as a guide with my students. This, now we have our dear HOD, Dr. Vidya Rao, also from Jain, who has graced the occasion, who is doing everything at the best possible way to make this research grow in the best way possible. So it's a privilege to be associated with research in Jain. This much I can say. Now, coming to our own selves as two individuals, it's not easy. Samsarave kashta, be it couples, friends, mother-daughter, father-son, whatever be the relationship, two individuals trying to strike a chord is not easy. And I think in research, as Ragini, Dr. Ragini has been saying, intellect and art, so scary, really. Thank God I heard these terms only now, not before. So it's really that kind of a challenge, because we are coming with some brains doing our stuff, right from literature review to, see, the student is not XYZ. A student is a earnest researcher who is well informed, who is deeply searching. So a student in research for a guide is not a mere student. It is like, you are on the on the confrontation in a way. It is not an exaggeration if I say this. Because at some point, two intellects have to come to common ground. Here the student is passionate and searching for a path. Here the guide may not know the instinct of the student, but knows what should be the path. So it is not easy to align from two different, poles to come and meet at a point. It's a journey. I will say all Vyabhichari bhavas that Bharata has said would have been exhausted. You can add some more than 33. But what is important is the sthai. How keen is the guide and the student first about the bond? I think this saves everything. If the bond is really firm, if the bond is really emotionally, intellectually, and I should say at the level of instinct, as Sir mentions, is really true, then all these alegadu, the waves, of the journey, during the journey that we face, you know, there are many things that are contradicting. You imagine two brains, can they function in a similar way? There are many things that are contradicting. There are many things that are aligning. Sometimes the guide learns, sometimes the student learns. After a point when we are in discussion, we hardly remember who is the guide and who is the student. Where is the guide and where is the student? Because it's all about the subject, right? So this is a beautiful journey, I say, beautiful journey. But one needs to have so much of patience, so much of devotion, not for the guide. It is incidental. Devotion to the guide helps maybe a little, but more important is the devotion to the subject. So I think I had this privilege, if I am not wrong, when I say this with Rashmi, that I had this privilege of such a beautiful bonding with her, which is what has resulted in this work today. This is about a personal relationship, which only can make bigger things happen. I should say, what was so charming about her to me is her modesty. If I want to describe Rashmi, I will put this quality as first, modesty. Because this saves so many things, you know, from going wrong. There have been, I remember, many times when I myself have felt bad. Oh, I said everything was not okay. How would be she okay with it? There have been many days when the chapters would have to be reversed. Or there would be many days when they give us a pleasant shock. Oh my God, what happened to this child from where to where she's grown? See, these are all different kinds of emotions that can happen. But there should be that kind of a balance where a student is able to welcome all these things with dignity, conviction, and faith in the guide. So I think Rashmi was that ideal research student, first of all. And I totally will cherish my journey with you in this research subject. Secondly, the very subject was so interesting because, as Sir was saying, you know, the light within. I'm somebody who is more bothered about the light within than the light outside. So for me, lights outside are more scary than the conviction that they're going to enhance. So by choice, I assure, I promise, never on earth would I have even touched the subject as a researcher myself. And as Sneha was also saying, Kapana sir was saying, I would have been that stupid, ignorant dancer who has no idea where the light is falling, but for Rashmi. But today, I understand. I totally understand. So as a researcher, I feel, as a research guide, I feel, all the subjects of research that my students are doing are the subjects probably I would never have wanted to do myself as a researcher. God was so graceful that he blessed me that otherwise I would be incomplete. So you better do. One was about education, research education in schools. Right, there is so many variety. This is one of the beautiful advantage of being a guide. You always have exposure to those subjects which otherwise you wouldn't have had. So I feel so fortunate to have chanced upon you, Rashmi. I don't think it was not that you chose me or I chose you. I was just fortunate to have chanced upon Rashmi to be introduced to this wonderful subject. You know, I am more convinced why the lights within are more important than the lights outside now. But this I say with more understanding and more, I should say, respect for those beautiful lights. See, we cannot but go with time. We are no more dancing in those temples. And we are no more dancing for the deities. We are dancing for a huge set of audience which connoisseurs come. You know, we are at a very I feel we are in a very privileged time today where art is having its dignity, respect, and so much of research is going, so much of work. And every day the connoisseurs are just growing with richness that it's not easy to please the audience without being a real artist. And I think that's a pleasure. ಇದು ಒಂದು ವಸಂತ ಕಾಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಲೆಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಂ, ಇದೇ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲೆಬ್ರೇಷನ್ ನಮಗೆ, ಇದೊಂದು ಹಬ್ಬ, ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ, ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ we are really privileged, because when you see the history, you know, it was so sad. People were trying to figure out livelihood through art. See, like livelihood is always promised, but if we can think beyond livelihood, then only art can even be born, is it not? Because art itself is lokotara, so it starts from beyond livelihood. So we are in that privileged place today, where we have the dignity as an artist. The world is acknowledging the dignity of an artist. So I really feel, when we are bound to be traveling with time, it is inevitable to be addressing such subjects. So you have a proscenium stage, you have this kind of an auditorium setup, even such a small gathering, you need lighting. So we cannot deny the significance of such changes, which kala auchitya idu. Now yaru idanna illa ant helakagalla. All that we can do is how to use, how much to use, when to use. Only these questions. So we should ask the right questions. Why lights is a wrong question. How much lights? How intense? As rightly Sneha ma'am was saying, the right questions that have to be asked. She asked those right questions. I was very happy. So this is about the subject. And next was about one important aspect of Rashmi's methodology of work that I was truly pleased was the practicality of it, as Sneha ma'am rightly put it. She went and sat, illella kutidare eshtu light designers. She went and sat with every light designer in Bangalore, not just Bangalore. I think she was, every time she would give me a call, she would say, I am here, I am there. Rashmi, where all are you traveling? No, she really did that kind of a field work. That is why she was able to say with so much modesty. See, intelligence becomes wisdom only with modesty and experience. I was talking about her modesty because it was not mere intellectual, it was experiential. She manually handled those, the console. It was not, she was a light designer, she was manually handling, she was also the dancer, she was also the choreographer. So it has given that complete vision of the entire work. And I think that is what makes this book sensible to us. So every dancer, if you ask me, I would never be a light designer, but I'm very, very happy she made me understand how a dancer can be a light designer. So through her, I learned so many things. I think I filled many of the gaps within me. So this subject was that sensible, and that is why, as Sneha ma'am put it, it is very simple when you read it. But I assure you, you will just carry back some data and some wisdom about lighting. This is the minimum guarantee, even if you give a casual reading. I'm not trying to promote the book. When she came and told me that, would you write a foreword? I first told her, see, I'm not so easily convinced about my own work. If somebody asks me to write a foreword about myself, I think I will never do it. It's difficult to, foreword is something coming from heart. I will read Rashmi, I cannot promise you, I said. And she also said, I want you to write a foreword only if you are happy, not otherwise. In fact, she said this before I said what I said. That's what I said. I may read, but I may not write a foreword, because I have been the guide. I will take all the responsibility for the flaws in the book also, but I cannot write a foreword if I'm not happy. But at the end of reading, I was just so fulfilled. I think what all somebody would want to say about lighting, as she beautifully categorized, the path, the technicality, and the philosophy. I think it was intact. And I said, I think about lighting, if somebody wants to know, is able to know this much, I think it's enough. I mean, enough, just enough. It's complete in its own way. And I immediately wrote whatever I felt like writing. So this was a privilege that I felt like penning to my dear student about the book for which we both visualized together. It's a very big honor for me that I could do this. These are not just words of praises, because I am also in the path. I am just sharing. And there have been many rough times, I know. But never was she angry with me. I was so surprised. There were many times when I was getting angry, she would never get angry. Because I know many students who are more angry on me than I would be on them. Everybody, it's very natural. The students are more angry on the guide than the guide would be angry on the student. You know, because it's their work, no? It's more important to them than a guide would think it is important to her. So, but Rashmi, you were so patient with me. I don't know how you were able to bear. Like, you know, it's not anything personal, but it was just, I think, you had that faith in me. Thank you for that, because it reassured my, stand. Because if the student, is able to have faith in the guide feels reassured about the stand. This is a simple psychology I'm sharing. So these were some beautiful things I came across when I was working with Rashmi. And now about Sneha ma'am. I don't think anybody could have introduced this book better, Sneha ji. I think, Rashmi, you were so fortunate. Nobody could have introduced this better. And for all reasons that she got it right. Not because she said everything positive about the book, but the conviction with which she said the positive things are the credentials that the book actually carries. So the way she has, given the divisions itself from there, starting from there, that was wonderful. And yeah, she said about the philosophy. See, that is finally, because this AI is so challenging. Tomorrow we don't know whether we'll be talking to human beings or AIs, because today only most of them are talking to Alexa most of the time than their own children or the husband. So it's so scary. Tomorrow's dancers could be just AIs, we don't know. When such challenges are there, so unless we are able to have a philosophical bent of mind to any aspect of technology, I think the purpose of technology for which human minds, human brains even created, fail. The very purpose of technology, because I don't think any human heart wants an AI to be superior to itself. Right? We are very sure about it. You better be my sevaka, not my master. This is our clear intention when we create anything about AI. And this we only have to ensure. Who else can ensure? So if we don't want this artificial intelligence to be superior to human intelligence, then I think human heart has a big role to play. And it is here where aesthetics come into picture, because aesthetics is the subject which ensures that human heart is actually controlling human intelligence, which can never become artificial. So any artistic endeavor should have this aesthetic visualization. And I think here, Rashmi totally aligned with me, because here I'm very, very, I should say, I was very raw. I was very crude. I was ruthless. I don't know, any bad word you can use on me will justify. But she was able to align to that philosophy, not just with me. I am also aligned to that philosophy. And she was also able to align to that philosophy in spite of choosing such a technical subject which is about the world. So there was a vision Lokottara in the Loka, for which I give you a special congratulation. Otherwise, I think we would have parted ways. So with these beautiful words about my journey, which I will cherish and relish for my lifetime, and the learning which I was bestowed upon in the name of guideship, I thank all the gurus and the entire parampara which gave us this wisdom to walk this path. Thank you.
Thank you, Shobha ma'am, for beautifully sharing your perceptions and the lovely bond that you have shared with Rashmi. Having worked with a wonderful guide myself, I believe relationship between the guide and student is a continuum of learning, together forging a synergy which advances art and knowledge with the intellect. So that is what it is. Our heartfelt thanks to you, ma'am. Dr. Rashmi would like to present a small token of gratitude to Dr. Shobha Shashikumar.
As beautiful as these flowers is your heart, may your life be too as beautiful as these flowers.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And now, it's time to listen to the voice behind When Light Dances. May I now invite the author, Dr. Rashmi Thaper, to speak and share her journey with us.
I'm honored and very happy because we have such great dignitaries over here to release my book. Dr. Sandeep Shastri sir, Sneha Kaparna ma'am, and my guide Dr. Shobha Shashikumar. I also feel blessed to have the senior research scholars, my teachers, my friends, the light designers, and the dancers present over here. To add to this special moment was the presence of Kaparna sir, which meant a lot to me. Stage lighting always fascinated me. Though earlier I used to use stage lighting for my works, I was clueless about how it actually works. It was only during my MPhil journey that I realized that, okay, stage lighting is a really important factor. This whole journey was pretty new to me. There are lack of resources on the subject. You can find stage lightings for the Western theaters and the dance, but when it comes to the Indian classical dance, where it is rooted in the Shastras, so the approach differs. And that is where I struggled. At a point, even I felt, why did I even pick up the subject? So I had to go around with the light designers, do the field theory, attending the workshops, learning from the designers and looking at the works of many of the light designers. And that's when I understood the nuances of stage lighting. And by the end of MPhil journey, I realized that aesthetics in the stage lighting is a key component for the Indian classical dance. And that's when I wanted to work on it for my PhD study. For my PhD, I did the analysis of different productions, different works of the brilliant choreographers and the light designers. But in this book, I have brought out the essence of both my MPhil and the PhD journey. And as there was not much documentation available on this work, many of the students, they used to contact me whenever they had any doubts about stage lightings or they wanted to understand about it. And that is what motivated me to come up with this work. What I felt is I've spent many years working as an assistant and learning and trying to understand, because everything was raw, everything was new. And there's, as I said, there's no documentation. So that's what inspired me to come out with the book, so that the other aspirants, they don't have to start from the scratch the way I did. So they have the guidelines available. So that was the whole motivation behind the book for me. And today, it's an absolute blessing to have my book released by Dr. Sandeep Shastri sir. Your guidance, inspiration, and support has meant a lot to me, sir. Not just from now, from the MPhil days. In fact, the very first time when we started off with the MPhil classes, never had we imagined that we could sit for 4 hours in a class, and that too when a pro VC is taking the class. So I had already planned to bunk the class, but somehow made my mind and went and sat in the last row, and that's when Shastri sir came, and that day everything just changed. The way he just introduced about the research. The next day I made sure that I was early sitting in the front row. So the inspiration, what I know that the students of Shastri sir are here, so everyone can connect with me, connect with what I'm trying to say. In a very quiet way, the way he taught us about the research journey, and also what truly touched me was he also taught us how to teach, how to be a teacher. So what are the qualities that needs to be for you as a teacher, for myself? So there are many things apart from research journey about the life, and the life as a teacher is what I've learned under sir, and I still follow his footsteps. Thank you so much, sir. It means the world to me, and I know that my friend Ragini is waiting. She told me that the next book release, she will request you, and she needs Sandeep Shastri sir only to release the book. So I'm sure that all the other students are also waiting for this moment. Thank you so much, sir. My guide, Dr. Shobha Shashikumar. When I'd first been for my MPhil interview, I had not scored well. And the topic which I wanted to work was also not accepted. While the other invigilator who was there along, so while she was still trying to, or she was skeptical to enroll me to the classes or not, it was Shobha ma'am over there who said, okay, let's give her a chance. And ma'am, the chance which you gave me that day made me stand here today. Thank you so much, ma'am. Sneha Kapada ma'am, as ma'am rightly said, I don't think so anyone else would have described my book so very well. I was thinking, I was recalling each and every sentences as in when you spoke about it. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's really an honor for me that you spoke about the book and you described it so well, the nuances, the whole, the theory, the concept of the book, right from all the angles in which I have covered. And I feel much more confident that what I thought and what I've written has reached to you. So I'm sure that it's going to reach to the people also. Thank you so much, ma'am. This work wouldn't have been possible without the support of many beautiful souls, and it would be wrong from my side if I don't acknowledge them. Firstly, it's the divine grace, because of which everything has unfolded so beautifully. Dance has been an inseparable part of my journey since the age of 5, and I would like to thank my grandparent, Shri K.G. Srinivas Murthy, and my parents, Srimati Sujata Krishna, and my father, late Shri K.P. Krishna, my brother, Rohit, who has been tirelessly running around me, doing all the works, carrying my bags, taking me to auditoriums, taking me to the dance classes and all. Though we don't come from an artistic background, yet they made sure to put me into the art. And that is what has brought me till here. Thank you so much for all the support. My sister-in-law, Lata Shetty, to whom my family has gracefully delegated all the work. So she stands by me and she takes care of each and everything. Thank you so much, Lata. The one person who stood by me without a single doubt, rather, he was very happy that I left the role as a senior software engineer, was my husband. Thank you so much for all the sacrifices you have done for me. My in-laws, Shishpal Thaper and Srimati Madhu Thaper, who are absolutely unfamiliar about what Bharatanatyam is, but they are very proud and they share everything I do with all of their friends. I'm sure that even online now, my father-in-law will be making the videos and sharing it across all the groups. He is a retired lecturer from NIT Punjab, and he had also enrolled for PhD, but he was unable to do it because of financial constraints. He had to stop midway, and he was so proud and he was so happy when I enrolled for PhD, and both my mama and papa, they have been supporting me so much. Thank you so much. My little ones, Vedanta and Rutvi, they have been very supportive to me during my work hours. In fact, during the drafting phase also, I must say that my son had become a word count manager. So every time there was no progress, he used to come and constantly remind me that I have not written anything. Thank you, Vedant, for doing that. Every achievement and every step is the reflection of blessings, and it's a grace of my gurus, Srimati Kumudini ma'am, Srimati Shubhadananjay, Karnataka Kalashri B. Bhanumati ma'am, and Dr. Janaki Rangarajan, without whom this wouldn't have been possible. And I thank all my teachers and mentors for nurturing, guiding me, and gracing me with their knowledge in the art field. I'm also thankful to Jain University for giving me an opportunity to pursue MPhil and PhD, and for providing me a platform to learn under the guidance of such renowned scholars. When I chose the topic for stage lightings, my very first call went to Nagraj sir, Nagraj Marihonaya sir. He selflessly guided me throughout the process. Probably for about 1.5 years, every month, at least minimum of 10 programs, I used to go along with him to understand the whole concept of stage lighting. Because though, as ma'am said, though sir is not academically qualified, but still he was very happy. He said that you've just come, I'll teach you whatever I know. And that 1.5 years is which shaped me. So thank you, sir. And also Shri B.V. Rajaram sir and Murugan sir, who invited me to their shows and they welcomed me to their teams. And I also wanted my research to be experiential, as ma'am said, than an observational research. And that's when Shri Ravi from Seva Satan, so he supported me a lot. He was the one who pushed me to start operating the console. Never had I thought that I can even design the lights. So he brought that confidence into me, and over the years, I just discovered the light designer within me, and I'm very grateful to Ravi sir for doing this. And also Umesh sir, who's present over here, who wholeheartedly taught me all the technicalities with respect to lighting. Thank you so much, Umesh sir. My PhD study was about analyzing different dance productions, and for that, the support of the light designers and choreographers were immense, and without them, I don't think so this journey would have been possible. Not just understanding the design, but the choreographies and the process of how they go about the lighting is what they helped me. A big thank you to Shri Rajendra sir, Srimati Nirupama Rajendra ma'am, Sushant P. Jadhav, Vaibhav Arekar, Ajay Prabhat, who's here, Surya Rao, Kirti Kumar, Charles, Srimati Sharmila Mukherjee, Prashwanath Upadhyay, Bharat Prabhat, and Srimati Divya Bhatt for all their wonderful contributions. And also all the other interviewees, light designers, choreographers, theatre, puppetry artists, who generously shared their insights with me. I would also like to thank my dear friends Vidushi Sneha Devanandan, Dr. Ragini Sanat, and Shri Suresh Mayasandra for proofreading my book work. I'm really grateful for your patience, support, and all the inputs you gave me. The stunning dance photographs in this book were captured by Shri Anup Vishwanath, with lighting designed by Shri Ravi T. The artists featured in the book are the disciples of Vidushi Sneha Devanandan from Kalanidhi Nritya Mandiram. All this photo shoot, everything happened online, so I was connected from there, and all my friends, they all helped me so much that the book has come out so very well with the nice, brilliant photographs. And this shoot was carried out at Seva Satan Auditorium. The one person after me who would cherish this work as much as I do is the designer, Shravan Hegde. Thank you for designing this book. You can imagine what happens when two startups meet. There was a lot of chaos and creativity, collaboration, information exchange. Too much happened, but he patiently, he handled everything and designed the book so beautifully. Just the way I was adamant in that the book has to come in a certain way, he was equally adamant. So I would say that the book belongs to both of us. Thank you, Shravan. I would also like to thank Shri Darshan from G3 Printers, who carefully ensured and he maintained the quality and helped us in this process. The illustrations in this book are lovingly drawn by my dear student, Ms. Kriti Hosetti. Thank you, Kriti, for beautifully bringing my ideas to life. She's clueless that her drawings are in the book. She doesn't know about it. Thank you so much, Kriti. My dear friend, Sneha, who's been constantly giving me inputs about the way we have to come out with the books. So we had multiple brainstorming sessions, and she's been constantly guiding me, motivating me to pursue this work. Thank you so much, Sneha. And I would also like to thank my dear friend Ragini Sanat, who helped me, who was very excited that she'll be doing the MC, so she was very happy. And after hearing that it is Sandeep Shastri sir, she was all the more excited that she will be here. Thank you so much, Ragini, for gracefully handling this event. And I would also like to thank all the parents and students of NRITYA SINCHANA. Thank you so much for all the support. On this special occasion, as a mark of respect, I would like to present the honorary copies to light designers, teachers, and everyone. A few of them were unable to come because of the program, so we have very few artists with us, so I would like to give them the honorary copies, and I request Ragini to help me with this.
May I request everyone whose names are announced to please come forward and receive these copies from Dr. Rashmi Thaper. First, Shri Ajay Prabhat. Shri Shaimon P. Shri Ravi. On his behalf, his wife Srimati Lakshmi will be collecting this. Shri Umesh. May I now request the teachers, Dr. Vidya Rao, Head of Department Performing Arts, Jain University, to please come up on the stage. Thank you, ma'am. Shri Shravan Hegde, who's designed the book. Vidushi Sneha Devanandan. As Rashmi could not travel, the photo shoot for the book was directed by Vidushi Sneha. Her students are featured in this book. Shri Anup Vishwanath, who's done the dance photography for the book. Okay. Kriti Hosati, Rashmi's student, who has contributed to the illustrations of the book. Shri G. Darshan of G Printers. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Rashmi, for that heartfelt sharing. I am sure your journey and reflections on the book have truly inspired many of us in this evening. As we draw the curtains on this beautiful evening, the timing could not be more perfect. When light dances takes its first step into the world, just as the lamps of Deepavali light up ours in a few days. May both continue to spread brightness, beauty, and inspiration all around. Wishing one and all a very happy and prosperous Deepavali. I would like to mention that the books are available for sale today. And as we share the light of the celebration, my warm thanks to all our chief guests and to each one of you for being part of this radiant evening. Kindly enjoy the refreshments served outside. Namaskara. Shubharatri. The refreshments are served on the third floor.